Hello, welcome to Wanderer Financial. Today we're going to talk about support and resistance. Probably the most basic concept of technical analysis charting is the support and resistance lines. These levels of a chart are created where previous lows or highs were put in, and in the future they act very much as psychological levels that often act as a barrier the next time stock approaches them. So let's take a look at some charts and see if we can kind of spot some support and resistance. So the first chart I've got up here is a chart of the Dow. You can pretty quickly see that it's topped out at some of the same areas a number of times. What I like to do is draw a horizontal ray. Just click on the top of that one, and you can quickly see that that level has been approached 3 times, a triple top. And again, this is when you're marking a top like this, that's called a resistance. If it's down here, that would be a support level. Up here is resistance. This is a pretty strong one. When it's been visited 3 times like this, cycles are pretty clear up to now, anyways. You know, that's going to be a pretty strong level where traders are going to see it approaching that area, and they're going to line up to kind of say, you know what, I'm going to take profits here. This is where we've topped out a couple times in the past. I think we're probably going to top out here again. So you'll see that that's kind of how support and resistance acts. You can see today we're approaching that level again. It's popped up pretty darn close. It's fallen off a little bit, but that's definitely something that a lot of traders are going to be watching here in the next few days. Is this level just 50 points higher, 100 points higher than where we are now? Let's take a look at another one. How about the Nasdaq? We can see here we've got a pretty, excuse me, that's not the right chart. Let's look at this here. Chart of the Nasdaq. Okay. Spread that a little bit. Okay, so again, you can see here, we'll pop another ray on there, starting at that previous high. And you can see again, the market dropped hard, and then it came back up, and as it rallied up, you know, people that bought down here were probably thinking when it got up here, might be time to take some profits. So when the selling began, it all began right at that level. You know, quite often you'll see it pop through that level slightly, but traders here were taking profits and down and win again. Again, we're on our way back up now, approaching that level. This is going to be a heavily watched area. If it gets up here again, you can expect some selling. It may just pause before going through, but most likely it's not just going to gap and run right on through that level. There's going to be some back and forth here. Let's look at some individual stocks. How about Tesla? So you can look at a blank chart and you can kind of just back up through time, and you know, you can pretty easily see that there's a pretty clear top, you know, across here. The easiest way for me is to draw a horizontal ray. I like to pick that first top. You can just click it up there, and again, you can see how clearly that's been defined. Approached it there, dropped down, approached it again, got knocked back down, approached it this time, didn't quite make it. But again, you know, anytime, you know, who knows what's going to happen in the future here, but if Tesla does get back up to this 390, 387 level, you can expect some pretty heavy selling. Another one is Lowe's. This one's been pretty consistent as well. And you can see again, I mean, it's just time after time with these charts, you'll see them pop through. It may continue, but then quickly find selling. This one just barely exceeded that high and then dropped back down. This one ended up finding support again at a trend line. But again, when we would looking at a chart and where we would expect maybe the stock to go over the next number of weeks or months, this is the level we would be targeting. Let's take a look at, how about the Nasdaq again, but let's look at the support this time. So we've got these highs here. But you'll see this time it came down, popped back up. There was a low here. It didn't mean a whole lot at the time, but after topping out again at the previous high, it came back down. And let's draw this in here. Sorry about that. Draw that. Oh, move that over. There we go. And you can see, you know, sometimes these levels won't mean a lot at the time. This low wouldn't have been a huge deal. I mean, it was just a few day drop there. Popped up again. It was in the middle of an uptrend. But then the next time it dropped down, it kind of bottomed at that level. Now you can see what would happen if we topped out here again, the stock began to fall. A lot of traders would be expecting support at this level. So if the stock comes up here, tops out, and starts dropping back down, gets down to this level again, you could expect some buying. Whether it continues down through that level or not, we won't know right away. But you know, you could expect at least a pause there, and probably at least a minor bounce before it was able to jog back down and drop through. How about SLB? So now we're looking, these are, again, we're looking at support levels now. Support are the bottoms, the lows. This, I like to think of it as supporting, you're holding it up. So SLB, the stock dropped down, made a bottom here in December 2018. A few months later, dropped down, just barely exceeded it, but now it's climbing back up and through again. It's also interesting to look through even further back in time. With this one, you can even look all the way into monthlies, and you can see quite a while ago, way back in 2008, financial crisis. There we go. Bottomed out right there at 35.05. It's kind of amazing, really. The 35.05 was the low in 2008. You look here, you can see the low was 34.99, 6 cents. 6 cents exceeded it by. And then now this month it's exceeded it just a little bit more, 34.46. But you know, these levels can be really important. Definitely worth watching. OIH. Let's take a look at this ETF. Now this one, it's kind of interesting also to look at them this way because let's look at the daily again. SLB. The stock we just looked at is a major component of the OIH ETF, and you can see that they act very much the same. This one hit a low here, another low right here, same spot. It's just starting to bounce now. This is building support. This is a support level. It's coming down. It's bouncing off it a number of times, basically kind of getting stronger on that support level. But you can also zoom out now, and you can see this one too. Goes back even further. We have levels back here in 2002. Oh wait, 2001. I mean, same level again. So, I mean, as this one was coming down, there was probably a few guys going, you know what, this is like an all-time low here. It's got to find some buying, and it ended up, it did indeed find some buying for a little while, and now it's dropped back down. It's testing these levels again. Google. Let's get the daily here. So Google, you can see this one here back back in October of 2017. There was a gap here. Sometimes these gaps act as support as well. The stock popped up, dropped back down. Now that becomes a support level. Tested it here, bounced up, tested it. This time it did exceed it quite a bit, but managed to pop right back again. Here we are now. Stock came back down here. This was a couple weeks ago. Definitely, I'm sure at this point, most traders were expecting another test of this 980, 987-ish level. Didn't quite get there this time. Stock bounced on some news about cryptocurrencies and other things for Google, but oh no, I'm sorry, that was Facebook. Not sure why Google is bouncing there, but anyways, that kind of gives you an idea. I mean, you want to just kind of look for these major levels that you can see that they are testing over and over and over again. The Dow is just such an obvious one right now. You know, top, another major top, all within the same, you know, couple hundred points. As we approach it again, you just have to expect some selling pressure. Whether or not that selling pressure actually drives it back down, you don't know right off the bat, but you can expect that there will be some selling. It'll slow things down, but then it might build up more pressure. And then as it does break out, if it maybe breaks out past this high, then you could expect another big leg up. Anyways, that's it for today. That's support and resistance. Thanks for following along. Hope that taught you a little bit more about, just the basics of how to take a look at a chart. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.